Let's talk to God. One more thing, like, subscribe and share. Come on, let's talk to God. Woo!
Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here in the Let's Talk to Cutler Virtual Book Club, the Let's Talk to Cutler YouTube platform, the Let's Talk to Cutler. Let's spend these 1,800 seconds together live on every Tuesday, which is what we're doing. And today is no exception. It is the 10th of February already. It's the second Tuesday in the month, and we're moving right along. I hope everyone is doing fine. I hope that you all had a great weekend. I hope that the week is just moving along for you and that you are doing well. I want to jump into our conversation and just pick up so I can make sure that we just don't let last week's conversation fall by the wayside, as it were. It was a great conversation. I thought it was an energetic conversation. I got a lot of feedback and input from you all. So I'm definitely want to pick up the conversation, pick up the pace, and keep on going and talking about what we started chatting about last week. It was amazing. Well, before I get into the conversation, let me just say to those of you who are catching me for the very first time, if you're talking about for the very first time and you wonder, what is this guy talking about? What is this conversation going to look like? It's going to look like something that's inspirational, motivational, or even challenging, something that challenges us to show up our best selves, even in the worst of situations, because life happens. And we have these conversations on this platform. We have conversations and talks so that we can rehearse how we show up when these challenges come so that we're not caught off guard. I don't know about you all, but in life, there have been so many times that I've had regrets about how I responded. I got into a certain situation or circumstances happened, and then after I responded a certain way, I said, if only I would have responded differently, if only I would have said such and such and such. And so I was so disgusted with how I responded until I thought I would take that platform and share with others. Be intentional and be direct about how you respond in life, because it is your response that makes the difference. It is your response that shows your character. It is your response that reflects your integrity. So we have these conversations about things that just happen in life, so we can practice on this platform, and we can rehearse uh, how to do life in a way that we don't have a whole lot of regrets, how to respond. So we can talk about things that can sometimes get under your skin, sometimes things that can annoy you, and things that you think about after the fact that you wish you would have thought about beforehand. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to pick up our conversation with how not to get involved in other people's drama, because how many of you all know that we so often can get pushed and pulled and sucked into other people's drama, and you think, if only I could have avoided that. I wish I could have just avoided that whole thing. But life happens. Life happens, and we don't always get do-overs. We don't always get do-overs. But how about this? In this conversation, we're going to pick it up and we're going to keep talking. And in a moment, I'll shout out the LTTC VIPs. But before I do that, let me invite you. I see some of you coming on, but just come on over to the chat so I can see you and know that you're here with me and all of that. And I'll shout out the LTTC VIPs in just a moment. But I want to invite you again to subscribe if you have not done so. If you haven't invited anybody to subscribe, go and invite somebody to subscribe. Tell them, come on, let's talk. The man's just trying to help save somebody's life. Now, come on over into the chat and talk to me for a little while. And then after you subscribe, just take it one step further and click on the notification bell to let you know whenever I've gone live or uploaded new content, like I am now. I'm here live in the living color. It's me. It's really me. I want to pick up with our conversation, you all, and I hope it's something that you all enjoy, something that you all can just jump right onto the chat with me and just start chit-chatting and talking about. And I'll recap for a moment. I won't spend a whole lot of time recapping, but last week, when we talked about how to make sure that you don't get involved in everybody else's drama, because what we realize is that it is so easy. It is so easy to get pulled into other people's drama. Try as you might, it's easy to get pulled into other people's drama. And the question was, why? Why do I find myself getting caught into other people's drama? Do you all know people like that? Have you been like that? You don't have to answer. You don't have to answer the chat. But one way you can avoid getting caught into other people's drama. And I'll just summarize these. We talked about them last week. I said that we can set boundaries and not only set them, but learn how to enforce the boundaries that you set. Establish those boundaries. It's your first line of defense. It's your first line of defense against being drawn into other people's drama. Set boundaries and clearly know what you will and will not tolerate about your time, about your emotional energy, about your emotional space. State your boundaries. State these are the things that I just will not tolerate. Use those I statements. I need quiet time. I need to be alone this evening. I need to be alone this weekend. I need some quiet time. I need some space. So that way you don't allow other people to coax you, lure you into their drama. And there's something else that I called last week, the toxic triangles. You know how I think I said it's a dog who carries a bone will bring a bone, or dog who brings a bone will carry a bone. That whole notion. I just mentioned last week that if somebody tries to complain about you or complain about a third person to you, you just say to them, no, go back to that person, have a conversation with that person, because you can't unload your garbage and your dirt and your stuff here. Now, I understand there are times when people need people to confide in, and that's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about people who just come to you with garbage and come to you with dirt, and they come to you with rumors. They come to you with innuendos. They come to you with hearsay. And a lot of times people are just trying to get a feel for how you would want to, how you're going to respond. Avoid all of that. Avoid attempting to fix stuff that you don't own. Can I say that again? Avoid trying to fix stuff that you didn't break and that you didn't own. And don't repeat rumors. Don't engage in conversations where judging people is the theme of the day, because we all could be in the pool of public opinion one way or the other. But avoid what I call those toxic triangles, where in a triangle, one takes information to the other and the other takes it to somebody else. No, just avoid those. And then I think I put it this way: learn how to stay in your lane. Learn how to stay in your lane. Don't feel the need to fix. Don't feel the need to offer solutions when you haven't necessarily been asked. Look, I relish, I cherish those moments when I don't have to give an opinion. People, because of what I do, because of what I've studied, because of my vocation, because of my calling, they assume that I like to talk. They assume that I want to talk. And that's not always the case. I love those moments where I get to mind my business. I think I said to you all last week that my grandmother, God rest her soul, would always say, you got 6 months to mind your business and 6 months to leave everybody else's alone. For me, it's all about staying in my lane. I learned when I stay in my lane, I don't get pulled into other people's drama. I just don't. And then learn how, even if you don't major or master this, learn how to do it. But I think last week I put it in the perspective of learn how to master the art of disengagement. Learn how to know when a conversation is turning. When it's turning one-sided, when it's turning into a rant or an argument, learn how to recognize when you're being pulled down the rabbit hole. And when you learn to recognize that, when you pay attention to that, because a lot of times we see it, but guess what? We just get pulled right into it. And then that's when we start saying things like, oh, I saw that coming and I still walk right out into the path of the oncoming truck. I saw it coming and I wish I would have. I'm telling you that there are a lot of I wish I would have moments. So take advantage of those moments. You see them, you hear them, you recognize them, you feel them. Learn how to not only recognize them and see them, but learn how to respond. You see when a conversation is turning one-sided. Learn how to recognize that pull and do what? Physically leave the space. Physically remove yourself from that surrounding, from that setting, that moment. It's your prerogative. You can do that. So you can physically detach, but you can also physically disengage and just stop talking, walk away, move out of the space. And not only can you physically disengage, but learn how to emotionally detach. Those were the ways that we talked last week about how to avoid other people's drama. I just wanted to summarize those, and I'll pick up and give us a few more this evening. But remember, one of the things that I said was learn when you're in a conversation with people, learn how not to take things, how not to take everything personally. Don't be such an empath when it comes to everything. Because the way that people act, we said this, is the reflection of their experiences, of their background, of their culture, of their surroundings, of their perceptions, how they see the world. It is a perception of, it is a reflection of their perception, not yours. People are ranting and raving and having all kinds of opinions about the halftime Super Bowl show, of the Super Bowl halftime show this past Sunday. All kinds of opinions. Well, it wasn't in English, and I don't know if it should have been. All kinds of opinions people have. And what I realize is that a lot of people are talking, but they're not paying attention to the fact that the way people be, the way they do things, the way they show up, the way they respond, the way they entertain, the way they do what they do, it is a reflection of their culture, their background, their experiences, their heritage, all of that. It's not a reflection of yours, it is a reflection of them and who they are. Allow people to be who they are. Allow them to be who they are and understand that people have experiences that are not necessarily yours. And then I think I ended on this notion where I said, learn how to care without carrying. You can be supportive, you can be empathetic, but ultimately allow other people to handle their own problems. Because remember what I said, don't make their problems your responsibility. Ultimately, my problems are my responsibility. Now, that's a lot to chew on and own up to, but it is true. My problems are my responsibility. I'm thankful for friends and family and community and village and support systems, but ultimately, who is responsible for my problem? Me. At the end of the day, I'm responsible. I'm thankful for any and everybody that helps me to resolve or solve them. But sometimes we have to make some grown-up decisions that say, you know what, this is my responsibility. And the same way you can own up to your responsibility, allow other people to own up to theirs. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. As Iyanla would say, that's all I'm saying, beloved. Let other people understand that they are strong enough, they're mature enough to carry their own stuff. You don't have to carry it for them. One of the things that, again, I often quote the lessons that my mother has taught and continues to teach me. One of the things, this lesson I got so early, don't put yourself off on people. And don't let people put themselves off on you. What does that mean? Don't let them put their troubles on you, their problems on you, their burdens on you. You learn to be there and share and show up. But know that there's a difference between caring and carrying. All right? There's a difference between caring and carrying. And a lot of times we feel like we can, we just got to help solve the world. We just got to fix the world. I'm not a Superman or a savior. Now that just tickled me, but I'm not a Superman or a savior. I can't solve the world. I can't fix the world. Neither can I solve the world's problems or fix the world's problems. I got enough problems on my own. And then to jump in with the people in my village and try to help them carry theirs. That's all we do. All right. That is what we do. Let me say thank you for you all just being here with me. Come on into the room. I see some of you. I see you on, but just come on into the room. So let me shout out some of the LTTC VIPs. There's Annie Cutler, Paula D, and McDiner. I'm so happy to see you all are the first three who I saw jump to the chat. So I just wanted to acknowledge you all. And let me just keep on going, y'all. Again, we're talking about how not to be pulled into other people's drama. And another way not to be pulled into other people's drama is learn how to listen without reacting. Now, what are you saying, Cutler? I'm saying learn how to put forth your best poker face. because a lot of times people are sharing and they're talking and they want to see how you react or how you respond. But you have to learn how to listen without reacting. Yeah, I know we've talked about communication in terms of actively listening and listening with all that you have. But sometimes you have to learn how to listen without reacting. Your best poker face, because sometimes dramatic people, they look for a big reaction, they look for sympathy, they look for responses that when you show that you're angry and that you're upset, and then and blame it starts shifting and all those sorts of things. Learn how to put on your poker face, listen fully before you express any opinion. Learn how to stay calm and quiet. Don't let them, as my grandmama would say, get you all riled up. Learn how to stay calm and be quiet. Listen fully before you express an opinion, especially when the other person is already emotionally charged, emotionally hyper, emotionally overactive. So you have to learn to be a balance. And then when you listen and when you decide to respond, learn how you decide to respond. Learn how to respond in a way that promotes serenity. That sounds overwhelming. That sounds very off-putting. Yeah, I hear you. Because that shows empathy without getting involved. When you say to people, wow, I hear you. That sounds alarming. That sounds like it could be a whole lot to deal with. And that's what you're saying. And you're not siding with people. I wish we could take that right. I mean, that's a lesson all by itself. Cutler, that was good. That's a lesson all by itself. Learn how to stay calm and quiet. Learn how to listen without reacting. And when you learn how to listen without reacting, learn how to use those neutralizing and stabilizing phrases like, that could be a lot. I hear you. Okay. All right. So that's one way. And I'm just picking up with these in terms of how not to get involved in other people's drama. Listen without reacting. Just remember, it's that whole poker face thing that you need to do. And here's the other thing, you all. Something else you could do is learn how to redirect the conversation. Learn how to redirect the conversation when a conversation takes a negative turn. And we know when a conversation is taking a negative turn. Let's not even act like we don't. We know when a conversation is taking a negative turn. And when it does, it should become your responsibility or your desire to make sure that you shift that conversation, that you actively shift that conversation to focus on a positive thing. So when it starts turning negative, you turn it right back into a positive. Learn how, this is what I call the art of controlling the temperature in the room. You become the thermostat, you become the barometer, you become the thermometer, and you learn how to set and adjust the temperature in the room in a conversation that can turn negative. When the conversation starts turning negative, you learn how to turn it positive. Adjust the temperature in the room. It's up to you. Everybody has the wherewithal to do that. Sometimes we ignore it, or we ignore the need to do it. We just go right into a whole complete negative environment, into a whole negative space when you have the capacity. Yes, you do. You have the capacity to adjust the temperature in the room. Cutler, how do I do that? Learn to change the subject. If somebody is venting on and on and on, and they're going on this rant, endlessly ranting and complaining, just ask about something positive in their life. How are your children doing? Particularly when you know something positive. How are those grandchildren? How's your cousin doing? The one who you said just got married and had a beautiful wedding. I mean, learn how to adjust the temperature of the room by bringing in something positive. How are you enjoying that new opportunity that you just embarked on? Hey, remind me, how did you enjoy that vacation when you went to so and so? You are adjusting the temperature in the room. You are redirecting from negative to something positive. And even if you have to, sometimes you can introduce things that you share in common. You can frame the discussion around, you know what? I hear you. Why don't we do such and such and such? And you focus on a shared goal. So it is about adjusting and learning how to readjust the temperature in the room. And a lot of times people avoid doing that because it's not always comfortable. But I can tell you this, when you do it 2 or 3 times, it becomes natural. And you feel better about not having let a negative situation or negative conversation go on and on and on and on and on. And you feel so much better down in your soul for rerouting the conversation like that. So the temperature, just know that you control the temperature. And here is something else. I learned how to start, or I learned the need to start controlling the temperature in the room when I would pay attention to my body. What do you mean, Cutler? Pay attention to your body. Learn how to regulate your nervous system, because when you pay attention to your body, you realize there are times when you're in a conversation and your hands are sweating or your throat is tightening. You're listening to people and your hands are sweating. Your throat is tightening. Your fist starts folding, your teeth start clenching. All of those are physical signs, and we need to learn how to pay attention to our bodies. If you feel your body interpreting your emotional tension, what you need to do is pay attention and say, okay, now I need to regulate my emotional system. I need to regulate my nervous system because my body is responding because I'm hearing this conversation that's trying to just pull me somewhere, just trying to lure me somewhere, that's getting me on edge. And you just need to sit there with your poker face, learn how to ground yourself, learn how to center yourself. What does that mean? What does it look like? For me, it looks like taking a deep breath. So that way I can say to my teeth, unclench, get yourself together. I'm not going to let an external conversation regulate my nervous system. I'm going to regulate my nervous system all by myself. So I say to myself, breathe and unclench your fist, unclench your teeth, unfold your hands. And stop fumbling with no. So I regulate my nervous system. I breathe. I may even say, hey, you know what? I need to take a break for just a moment. Or give me a moment. I'll be right back. I take a breather. It's you in that space. And can I say this? You may not necessarily own the space that you're in, but you own the you that's in that space. I said a mouthful. You may not necessarily own the space that you're in because it could be somebody else's space. Maybe they've invited you into a space or a place. And so now you don't necessarily own the space or the environment, but you always own the you that's in that space. And you always have the right to do with you what you need to do in any space. So if you need to regulate your system, if you need to remove yourself, if you need to disengage, if you need to do any of that, you do it. You just learn to do it. I got a couple more, y'all, and then I'll be done. But I wanted us to finish this conversation about, because listen, we're still early in the year, and people are already trying to pull us into their drama, trying to pull us into their trauma, trying to pull us into their layers and into their mess. And I'm just trying to offer us something practical that helps us before we get pulled into that drama, something that we can share with other people. Oh my goodness, my brother, my sister, this is how you avoid this stuff. I had a conversation with Cutler the other night. Yeah, just tell me. I had a conversation. I was talking with Cutler because he says, come on, let's talk with Cutler. I had a conversation with Cutler, and we were talking about how not to get pulled into other people's drama. And then you talk about the ways in which we get pulled into drama. And then you talk to them about, this is what Cutler suggested. And you know what? This is what we in that group talked about, because guess what? We are talking about it. I know you're saying, Cutler, well, you're the only one who seems to talking. No. We are all talking, because as I'm talking, you all are processing. And you don't always necessarily put stuff in the chat. Sometimes you all will email me later, but we are talking about this, how not to get caught into other people's drama, because a lot of people have drama. They're drama kings and drama queens, and they want you pulled into it. But you have to say, no, 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 because what you don't get to do, you don't get to invite me to your circus and make a clown out of me. Oh my. No, I'm not going to be a part of your drama. Cutler, what else? What are some other ways in which we can make sure that we avoid getting pulled into other people's drama? We often, I know I often do, cite, and this is, I'm not even talking about from a religious perspective, but many times we talk about things like the serenity prayer that says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So that prayer calls for, and it's applicable all throughout life. That prayer calls for three things: serenity or peace, to just accept that there's some things I can't change. There's some things we just can't do anything about. But for the things that I can do something about, like disengaging, disembarking, and grant me the courage to change the things that I can. So serenity or peace to accept what I can't change, courage to change what I can change, and wisdom to know the difference between what I can and what I can't change. May I say this to you? May I say this to you? Some people, and I don't mean any harm or disrespect, but some people are committed, you all. They get you in a conversation, and there are some people, like it or not, who are committed to not understanding you. There's some people who are committed to not agreeing with you. It doesn't matter. You can talk until you're blue or purple in the face. There are some people who are committed to not understanding you, to not agreeing with you, to not collaborating with you. There are people who are committed to not concurring with you. There are people who are committed to not working with you. There are some people who are committed, no matter what you do, to being disagreeable. Now, I hope I'm helping somebody. I really, really do. Understand, there are some people, in some settings, I will say this, there are some people who are anointed almost to disagree with you no matter what you say. They are committed to being anti-you. And what am I saying? I'm saying accept the fact that there are some things that you cannot change. And one of the things that you cannot change is people. Wasting your energy, wasting your time trying to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding or not understanding you is a major source of drama. I need to say that again for the people in the back. I need to scream this out loud. Hear me clearly, you all. Hear me clearly. There are some people who are committed to not working with you, committed to not understanding you, committed to not collaborating with you, and wasting your time and your energy trying to explain yourself to people who are committed to not understanding you is a major source of drama. Don't get caught in it. Don't get caught up in it. If I haven't said anything on this platform this evening, hear me clearly when I say that. Stop wasting your energy and your time trying to explain yourself to people who are committed to not understanding you. I learned that a long time ago. Learned that a long time ago. And adopted the mantra that says this: don't get caught up in an argument with a fool because somebody passing by may not know which is which or who is who. And they look at the two of you and they say, who is the fool? No. You don't get to say that about me, because I am not going to get caught up in trying to explain myself when I know that you're committed to not understanding me, no matter what I say. What does that mean? Stop trying to be the Superman. Stop trying to be the Superwoman. Stop trying to be the savior. You cannot fix somebody who doesn't see an issue with their response, with their life, with their action. You can't fix somebody when they're committed to being fixed by anybody except you. I'm telling you, you got to be careful. You got to. Thank you, Paula. Paula D says you have to protect your peace. I'm telling you, thank you, Paula. Absolutely, learn how to protect your peace, you all. If someone repeatedly, let's hear me clearly. I got to get out of here. I really, really, really have to go. If somebody repeatedly ignores your boundaries, if they repeatedly consider limiting or ending the I'm telling you, if they ignore your boundaries all the time, what you might need to do is think about limiting or ending your interaction. I'm just trying to help us. I'm just trying to help us. Because a lot of times we get in a situation, can y'all just give me one more minute? Because a lot of times we get into these situations, one of the things I want us to do when we get in these situations, we have to ask yourself, what is my motive? Why am I still here? Why am I getting involved? Why am I still here? Do I feel the need to fix, the need to help, or has it become a habit whereby I'm drawn to drama? I just want to help us, you all. I just want to help us. But I want to go back to that, and I'll end here. And just know this. Ask yourself, why am I allowing myself? And this comes with my life learning. I wish I would have responded differently. I wish I would have done something differently when I was that age. Well, you know what? Start today. It doesn't matter whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, or 100. God rest Miss Evelyn's soul. I just thought about it when I got to 100. But listen, you all. Listen carefully. Leave people alone. And I got to go. Leave people alone when no matter what you do, you know that they are committed to not understanding you and working with you. Stop wasting your energy. That's a major source of trauma. Listen, I protect. Thank you, Paula, again. Protect your peace. I hope that you all have gotten something out of this conversation. Let's keep doing what we do, you all. We are early here in the year. It's February already. We got 10 more months to go, and it's too early to get caught up in people's drama. It's not even the summertime, and some of us, we're already caught up in other people's drama. Leave it alone. It's not too early to drop it. It's not too early to get out of it. Let it go. Thank you all. Hey, let's keep doing what we do. Let's stay committed. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Let's stay safe, stay sane, keep your heads up, keep your hopes up, and know from my heart to yours there is and always will be so much love. Thank you for this moment, for these 1,800 seconds. And I will see you next week. But when I do, by then, tell somebody by then, please go and tell somebody, hey, no, I'm serious. This is what you say to them. No, I'm serious. I keep telling you about Cutler. Come on these Tuesday nights and let's talk to Cutler. Hey, good night, everybody. I'll see you next week when I see you. All right, bye.